It's a beautiful thing. And what I say is, if a single mom can do it, then, you know, what excuse do you have? There's really none, right?
Welcome, everyone, to our Hero Capital Show. I'm your host, Tim Mai, and today I have another amazing guest on the line with us, Mr. Matthew Teifke. And Matthew is a Texas-based real estate investor, entrepreneur, co-owner of TR3 Capital, specializing in RV parks and multifamily properties. And Matthew has a master's degree in real estate from Texas A&M, and he's passionate empowering investors to become owners and building long-term relationship. Matthew has been investing in real estate now for 16 years and has built a portfolio of currently over $110 million, including single family home, retail building, RV parks, laundromats, and multifamily. I'm super excited to interview Matt today. Matthew, thank you. Welcome.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's time here. I'm excited to share whatever I can to bring value. So I appreciate the space. And thank you so much for being here and Tim for hosting this.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for inviting a bunch of your people, your fan base over here. So really appreciate you. And yeah, all of you guys that came from Matt's group, thank you so much for being here with us today. So yeah, Matthew, let's start out. If you can share with everyone, like what had you got into real estate and even got a master's degree in real estate?
Yeah, man, it's been a journey. Happy to dive into this as much as I can bring value on. To kick it off, what really started for me was my mom was a single mom, and she raised my brother and myself. And I literally remember being like 6, 7, 8 years old, and she was cleaning houses, and we
Mm.
were there at the house. And she went from cleaning houses to then working at a asphalt and construction company that my uncle started in Austin. And by the time I was 16, she had 16 rental properties. She just kept buying one house, another house. And that's what got me hooked, man. And so I knew at a young age, because I was over there working on these properties. And I remember like learning, man, you buy this property and then essentially somebody else pays it off. And you have this flexibility of time and you get to be an entrepreneur. And so I got my real estate license when I was 18 years old, going to Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. And it's been a long journey, but the whole goal was I want to learn as much as I can about as many different aspects of the business with the whole intention of owning and buying real estate. So it's been a long journey, really been a student of the game, really value partners and connections and happy to share, like I said, as much as I can. And I want to support people. I really care. Coming from that, seeing my mom do it, and she supported me a tremendous amount, like even to this day. And so I feel that I need to give back. And so I partner with people, I sign on loans. I'm an entrepreneur to the core and just love real estate, man. It's a beautiful thing. And what I say is, if a single mom can do it, then, what excuse do you have? There's really none, right? Because I'm married with 2 kids and life's hard enough just like that. She was totally on.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's super inspiring to hear your mom's story there. And yeah, knowing what I know about you, like you're such a giver. You're always so genuinely wanting to help people, want to encourage them and inspire them. Yeah, I'm really like grateful to have you on this show with us today. Share with us a little bit about your journey. I know you started out in the single family home space and now you've done a number of different types of commercial real estate and now focusing a lot on multifamily. Share with us a little bit about that transition. What had you got out of real estate? What had you got into retail building and RV parks and laundromats and now multifamily?
Yeah, I've always believed in being an entrepreneur. There's different ways that people can approach this business, but I think a lot of us get into it to not have a job. And so sometimes if you're doing one thing, it's like you have a job, but there's always something new and exciting in real estate, which is so fun. There's something about all of us that we get into this business. I don't know what it is, but there's something that we all have some kind of similarity through. And so my goal was to be an agent. I started helping people buy and sell, and then I started buying and selling myself. I worked at a very high-end commercial real estate brokerage in Austin, downtown Austin, and I was just constantly learning, right? And what I was always doing was searching for opportunities to own. And
Mm.
what that was, especially in Austin, where it was very competitive for a long time, like it was hard to find deals. But that would be a portfolio of two houses or like a laundromat or an RV park. And so what I did was I acquired this portfolio of discounted properties around Austin. And then I hit this point where I was like, man, this is good. I have a ton of assets, but it's kind of chaos, right? You got laundromats and RV parks and houses and duplex and fourplex, and there was no ability to streamline it from my vantage point. So just within the last 4 years, I got hyper focused on larger deals, raising capital. And before that, it was just me and my partners just buying everything with our own capital. But you can only do so much. So where we're at now is we're in a really good spot. We've been patient. We've never bought bad deals. We didn't get swept away buying four caps and deals like that, which I probably wasn't even able to buy them at the time. But now there's a lot of sellers that just have to sell. And what we're seeing real time is one, there's not that much competition. And two, there's not a lot of people that have the ability to raise capital right now. And we're not by any means perfect, but we've had the ability to close all the deals that we've locked up. We have two under contract with most of the money raised, a little bit left. But we have one particular seller that he's selling like 2,500 doors in Austin and San
Mm.
Antonio, which is our market. And this seller likes us. We've got the contract dialed in. And so my role at our company is like hyper focused on finding capital partners, fund of funds groups like you've been training. I teach different classes. I prefer to be a full open book, value add with everything I do, and really try to think of this as a 20-year game. It's like this has been, for me personally, the best time to ever be in the real estate business since I've been in it. And there's just so much opportunity, man. And I just want people to understand that because I personally believe the window for this will close and it's going to be hard to buy these deals, but it's here now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I started my real estate investing career in 2002. I got to rode that 2008 market up and saw the crash. And I remember in 2009, some of the guys I know that was in a multifamily apartments, they were buying properties dirt cheap, even using hard money loans at 14% interest. They still were able to make their deals work. And I do feel like we are in that sort of, it's not exactly the same, but just to give you like a similar feel to it. But I do feel like we're in that 2009, 2010 market. And as you guys know, what happened to multifamily from 2011, 12 until 22, pretty much, right? It had a huge run up for those 10 years. Share with us a little bit about your partnership. I know you have two partners and you guys each have your own specialty. And I love the way that you guys set it up. So give us an insight into your partnerships and who does what.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I didn't touch on this, but I started, just to give a little more backstory to that, I started a single family property management company, and my wife and I were managing like 780 single family homes. We
Mm.
sold that, but I also own a real estate brokerage in Austin, and we have about 120 real estate agents. So through all that entrepreneurial approach, there's a lot of deal flow. Alex Kaufman, and I could go on about these guys forever, but it's such a blessing to have a good team, right? Like really, truly is. But Alex was my little brother's best friend. And so we grew up together. We've known each other since we were like 7 years old. Robert, my other partner, so Alex Kaufman and Robert McLeod, Robert was my best friend. And Robert was a Navy SEAL. He got out about a year and a half ago, but Alex and I had teamed up. We started the brokerage together as far as like building it and growing it. And then we went through this cycle of owning all these single family homes. And we're like, it's not that good. You got 50 houses and then tax season comes and you didn't make any money. So Alex and I got really clear. We got to buy bigger deals and now's the time to do it. Robert gets out of the Navy a year and a half ago and he literally said, hey man, I want to be an asset. Navy SEAL like, I want to be an asset. What do I do? And I told him, I think you should go to Texas A&M and do the Masters of Land and Development, which is not the program.
Mm,
I did the Masters of Real Estate. So there's three of us. We're in our mid 30s. We plan to do this as a career. This is not a do a deal and be done. Like we want to build something special and do it with a lot of people. But they're the operations guys. They love the spreadsheets. They love Robert's in San Antonio right now, touring some apartments we're looking to buy. And we've got it dialed in where it's very clear on what we do. What I do is go to events, meet people, try to support. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I try to share that with people the best I can. And it makes me feel like what I'm doing has real meaning. And so it's just constant talking to people. I talk to 50 to 100 people a day. I try really hard to, whether they're a big time developer or maybe a student, like everybody matters to me. And then Robert and Alex have it dialed in on negotiating, underwriting, operating, and they love doing, like they would never really want to be on this camera. Like they don't even like doing that kind of stuff. So we're very clear. And what's interesting, Tim, I just had an investor. He told somebody that knows me, I like these guys at TR3. The only thing is they're such good friends and they've known each other so long. I've seen how things go bad. And it's like, there's
interesting.
what's the opposite of that? We just met.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just can't win. But we've known each other our whole life. My mom is like their mom, and it's hard to beat that, man. Like we've been through it together, and that goes a long way when you're investing in a team.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm curious with you having gone through Texas A&M for real estate and then suggesting Robert to get his master's in land development. You obviously found great value to learning about real estate through schooling. So speak into that versus just learning out here, whether it's seminars or coaching programs and what have you.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways that you can look at it. What was interesting for me is I couldn't get accepted to A&M or UT out of high school. Like I went to A&M Corpus, right? I'm pretty sure I got declined to Texas Tech. So like I couldn't get in. But what I did was my sophomore year of college, I made, yeah, it's a small number, but just in the spirit of talking business, I made $16,000 selling houses. My junior year, I made 50,000. My senior year, I made 75,000 selling real estate, right? And being a full-time student. And so once I learned about this real estate program in College Station, I knew my mindset was always, I want to be as good at this as anybody. Like I remember 18, 19, 20 years old thinking, I don't want anybody to be doing more than I am in real estate at this age. That's how I thought. And so I got into Texas A&M to get my master's because I believe that I had experience and like real world application of real estate. But when I got into that program, dude, I was so in over my head. These guys are just
Mm,
way smarter than me. I didn't even know what they were talking about. It was actually really hard for me to get through that program. But I had to show up before class, after class. These are like finance guys. And most of the people that go to that program, they go to JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, and they're not really brokers or agents. They're more like analysts and corporate real estate guys. But what it did for me was one, it gave me a massive network, right? Like the A&M network is a big
mm,
deal, especially within real estate. I go to the events every year. But it also gave me a confidence to know at 25 to feel like I could be in any room and produce value, right? I didn't feel
mm,
like there was a room where people were talking real estate where I didn't belong because I'd sold houses, I'd wholesale deals, I'd managed property. I was managing properties in college for other people. And so having that confidence to feel like I belonged, partially with having the degree, went a long way for me. But to go and talk and study real estate for a year and a half when you plan to make this a career is something that I really recommend. There's really not many negatives to it. Plus the network, right? Like you're graduating with 15 to 20 people who plan to be in real estate for the next 30, 40 years. So it's tremendous value for me, man. And I highly recommend that program. Even if people have been in the business for 10 years, look into going there.
Yeah, wow. That's good, very good perspective on official schooling for
Yeah.
real estate there and owning that connections. And I know y'all Texas A&M folks are very close with each other. So cool to hear that. Share with us a little bit about your strategy of just sticking to Austin and San Antonio versus into other markets in Texas or even beyond Texas.
Yeah. I think all markets can be good if you're plugged in, right? Like you can find deals anywhere. We're just from Austin, right? My family is there, my friends are there. I know all the brokers. It just so happens that it is, in my opinion, one of the best markets in the world, right? When you really look at Austin and the diversity of job growth and being in Texas, those things really line up. I don't know about other people here, how they feel, but we have a couple people that are doing background checks on us to maybe be a larger equity check. And I agree with this, but one of the guys said, look, if you went into a science lab and created a real estate market, like Austin and San Antonio would be the ones you'd come out with. And I
Hmm.
agree with that. I could be biased. I'm sure other people have opinions, but there's so many good things there. And whether you're in Houston or Dallas or other states, as long as you're locked in, like the brokers call us before deals hit the market. We become friends with them. Here's something that might be of value to people. But 10 years ago, I was taking these brokers to coffee or lunch and, hey, I want to buy these deals. Like, how do I do it? How do I do it? And they knew that I wasn't ready. But now that they've seen me and my company and they've seen our track record, now they're looking at us as the buyers. And so these are seeds from 10 years ago, right? But you
Hmm.
gotta, if you're looking for deals and you can't call brokers and they know who you are, you're probably not going to get good deals. But I'm just a very bullish on Austin over a 10, 20-year period, San Antonio as well. The price per door, the metrics of the job growth is very good. There's people that are a little bit down on Austin right now, but that's very short term. What happened was Austin just went crazy. Like it was irrational, right? There you could have a house that might be worth 300,000 and somebody might buy it for 700,000. So people are like, Austin's declining. It's no, not really. It's getting more normalized. I just like the amount that I know Houston or Dallas is how I know New York City, which is like nothing, right? I want to see every deal in Austin and San Antonio. If somebody goes under contract, I want to know who they are. I want to know what they paid. I want to join their webinar. I want to see if they drop the deal and just very detailed, knowing the landscape and knowing the competition. That way we can stand out and capture value for the deals we're doing.
Excellent. I love that. Love that level of, yeah, like knowing your markets. Let's talk about your capital raising. Like you mentioned, even in today's market where a lot of people struggle to raise capital, you guys are able to raise capital fairly easily for your deal. Give us some tips, tricks around that. What have you found to be working really well for you around that?
I've just found I'm 2 years into considering myself a capital raiser. And so there's been a learning curve for sure. I'll give as much insight as I can on this, but I've gone to probably about 15 events this year, a lot, right? Arizona, Florida, Utah, like I've seen you at a few of them. I've gone to every event that I could possibly go to. I'm going on 2 cruises this year that are all real estate based. A guy invited me off of LinkedIn today to Florida to a happy hour, and I'm going there, right? And so as I've tried to get better at this, I've really just learned that it's just people, it's sharing a story, and it does take time, right? It takes a year and going hard at it to really get it
Hmm.
dialed. And then there's levels of who's your capital. We did a $3.5 million raise and we had 50 investors. Then we did a $5.5 million raise and we had 4 investors. And so there's different levels, there's institutional, there's family offices. We try to really keep an open mind to all of it, but it's getting your name out there. One, you have to have great deals. And then people like a good story, right? Like we have a good story to sell. Hey, we're the local Austin guys. We've been here our whole life. we're plugged in on these deals. We've got this one seller. He's motivated because his debt's maturing. Like that story sells pretty easily. And then it's going back to all the people that we've met. And I've looked at it, man. Do I join a country club? Do I join this group? Do I join that group? And everybody that I've talked to, I've realized that, and I'm open to your opinions, anybody's opinions here, but there's no secret like place you go and then the capital just comes. It's just not like that. I've met people at events. I met a group of 4 pharmacists that put $2 million into our last deal, stuff like that. It's just a people game. And what I've learned is, for me personally, rather than jumping in and just pitching the deal, I got to really qualify who am I talking to? What do they see as a good deal? Are they ready to invest? And I'll save a lot of time by doing that. But if they're not ready, I can still bring them into a funnel and be a friend and support them whatever way I can. So it's just, I can't tell you, man, it's a 24/7. This is super competitive, as you and a lot of people here know, but it's all day, every day. If you're part time and you're struggling, I feel for you because it's hard to do that, even hard for me. There's no secret, man. It's a grind, but I believe that it's worth it. And excuse me, the fact that
Bless you.
we get to be in real estate, we get to connect, and to me, it's just enjoy the journey, man. I feel so blessed to be talking to everybody here, for you to have to put time into this. Do I want to own 1 billion units and be a billionaire? Sure. But like the journey of creating and talking and meeting is such a blessing. And to go to events and to meet friends and have drinks and have a steak and whatever it may be, that's the win. That's why we do this, right? Life's short. We're going to be retired sooner than later. But if we can really tap into what's happening real time, we can feel the blessing that real estate actually brings.
That's so good. And there's 3 things that I caught as you were talking, and I want to highlight it for everyone on here. Number one, you're all in. You're out here attending all of these events, meeting people. And one of how you're able to do that is because you have good partners that take care of other aspects of the business, and you get to play to your strength of networking, of building relationships. And yeah, so it allows you to do that. So partnering up with others and knowing what your strengths are, knowing what is your sort of highest and best use. Just like a property has its own highest and best use, each one of us have our highest and best use, and being able to play to that strength is phenomenal. And then second, you just genuinely love to build relationship with people. Like you mentioned, it doesn't matter if they're a family office or just a new investor. You're out here building genuine relationship with people. And then when the time comes for you have properties, you give them an opportunity to partner with you and invest with you on these properties. Like that that genuine relationship building process, a lot of people don't realize that's a really major part, probably like more than any other aspects of capital raising.
When I have people, I don't miss a call, I don't miss a text, I don't miss an email. Like I'll call back. But I had somebody today call me from the wrong number, and like we just started talking. Like I do that. Every person I come across, I'm like, there's a reason I'm talking to this person, whether it's business or not. But that's what happened for me is I had really studied and tried to learn everything. And then something clicked where I realized it's literally just about people. That's all it is. And I think too many people are too short term. They talk to people and then they move on. I talk to you and then I made it a point to try to stay in touch with you. I do that and you're an important person in the business world, right? But if you weren't, I still have that same approach to talk to people because I do care. And the reason I say that is I think if more people approached it like that and genuinely tried to stay in touch, tried to be friends, they'd see a lot more fruits come from what they're doing.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, and then the other point that I caught from you was having a good story. In your case, you guys are local, the local market really well, and having that expertise. So beyond any one individual deals, the markets, and so yeah, so it allows you to talk very intelligently about the markets and all the relationships that you build, not just for the capital raising side, but also for the deal sourcing, deal finding side as well. about this wrong call, like wrong phone number caller. I would love for you to get back with me and say, hey, that person invested in one of my deals. That would be awesome.
Oh man, I take spam calls, I flip them, you know, beautiful
I,
thing.
I love it. And then once you meet people, I know you also have your own weekly event that you run as well, where you teaching people about the business and things like that. Share with us a bit about that part of your networking and relationship building strategy.
Yeah, thanks for asking. That's something that I'm very passionate about. It's every Thursday at 1 Central, and it's a very unique group. We start off with prayer. Last week
Mm.
we had a guy singing and doing some worship music. It's a work session. It's totally free. Everybody's welcome. I tell everybody this is not the Matt Teifke show. This is for all of us, right? How can we be fruitful together? And so it's blossoming into something that is not exactly what I want, but like what the group wants is what I'm after there. And so we'll call brokers, like I'll call people and I'll push. There's a lot of people that are scared to call brokers. And I get it, man. And it's hard. Like brokers can make things difficult if you don't have a track record, right? And they can belittle you. And that really bothers me, right? Because everybody should have an opportunity. And plus, they're hired by the seller to sell their property. So even if that person's not a buyer, you should still treat them right. Maybe they know somebody else. So they're doing a disservice to their client as well. But like we call brokers, we analyze deals, we make pitches. Dude, we'll go for 5 hours sometimes. It's crazy. And it's just a space to help build each other up. And everybody's welcome. The door's open there.
That's excellent. Yeah, and we're gonna when we get to the part about how people can learn more about you and the group, we'll make sure we'll give a link for people to go there. And yeah, so what else do you do, or give us some tips on? I know you can talk to anybody. That's your gift. You're amazing. But give us some tips, especially with a lot of the us more introvert people. What's the best way to be able to start the conversation and yeah, start that relationship building process?
Yeah, I have a bit of a process that I've written down if people do want to write this down. And just like anything, man, you just have to do it and it gets easier and you get better and you do it and you get better, right? But what I do is, as far as calling a broker, number one thing is I have a good vibe. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on today? How are we gonna make some money today? Just you playing around, right? We'll talk about Ohio State playing Texas, whatever. But what I'm doing, number one, is I'm quickly establishing my background and who I am. And therefore, I'm letting them know that they're not wasting their time because they're not getting paid unless the deal closes, right? So, number one thing is establish a track record. Number two, what I do is I dive into the deal. You got to remember, they're hired to sell the property, right? But what I'm also realizing real time is the chances that I buy this deal are slim to none. There's this deal, but then there's this relationship with this broker. And this is like a brand new person I've never talked to. Hey, how you
Hmm.
doing? I'm with TR3 Capital. Man, we're active in the market. We're buying 1,000 doors in San Antonio. Let's do some deals this year. What do you got going? Just they're just people. But two, dive into the specific deal. You're going on a fact-finding mission to find out what's going on with this deal. Number three, I'm trying to understand the landscape, right? You can find out about this deal and you realize there's five other people that they're trading a contract with or whatever it may be. Who's looked at the deal? What have they said about it? Where are you in this process? Number four, I actually typically will make an offer. I'll just
Mm.
tell them, hey man, I'm a buyer at 15 million and I want to go low, right? But at least I'm like putting the flag up. And then final, number five, I get them to laugh. It's like literally just like that. You got to get them to laugh. But you want these people to be your friends and you want them to give you the real answers. And once you unlock that, you know what you're doing, that you're real, they'll start giving you the real answers and not
Mm.
giving you the runaround, where a lot of people get the runaround and then everybody's just wasting their time.
Very good. I love that.
One thing, just real quick, Tim, what I want to hammer on, once the market changes and the market's hot, these relationships are going to be really hard to build. So right now is the time to do it. The brokers aren't going to want to hear your story and really chit chat and talk whenever there's 15 offers coming in. They're not going to
Yeah.
have time.
Even pick up their phone at that point.
Exactly. So now's the time to build those relationships for when the market does turn, they know at least who you are.
Oh, that's so good. All right. So what about when you're going to networking and you're meeting with, let's say, potential investors, right? Potential LPs. What is your approach there?
Yeah, I got to find, unfortunately, right? When I go to an event, I'm there for the people. Like I do genuinely care about people. But when I'm going to an event, like I have to find the right people. And it doesn't necessarily mean they only have money. Like I just need people that are locked in. I'm very serious about this business, right? If I tell you that I'm going to do something, I do it every single time. There's a lot of people that don't do that. Like every time. I don't slip on that. So I'm looking for those people. And what I've found is you only need to find three or four of those people, and then they know the rest of the same people, right? So I'm just looking for a certain, you can find me there, and I'll introduce you to four or five of these people. But you find the right people that are locked in, which is not easy, but you can just see it. You can see how they talk to people. Do they know everybody here? Talk to that person, and then they'll introduce you to the right people. But you have to come with value and a good story, right? Just like we said. Because if you don't, in this business, if you don't have a deal or you don't have capital, you really got nothing, right? Like it's literally just that. You got a deal or you got capital or access to one of the two. So I'm getting hyper focused on finding those right people. Once you keep showing up, I was just breaking into this in the last year. And so I showed up to the first couple. I didn't know anybody. But then after the fourth and the fifth one, it's the same people at these events, right? And that's where I was saying capital raising is hard, but there is a way to do it, and it does take time. And so now, after a year and a half about it, if I do the same process next year, the beautiful thing about real estate is everything snowballs in every way. Like your net worth goes up, your deal flow gets better, your connections get better, everything gets better if you're approaching it in a long-term strategy and not just, I'm here to just do a deal and like just a one deal guy.
That's super good. Yeah. And so besides like you getting to know them, getting them involved in your community with the weekly calls that you do, is there anything else that you do to further that relationship, nurture that relationship?
I think the right people, you're going to find like the 5 or 10% of people that are locked in. You're probably both making an effort to keep that going. And so it becomes a two-way thing and it's not all on me. And so
Mm,
it's continuing to go to the events, it's continue to build my class, it's continue to show up, stuff like this is you're helping me get my name out and introduce me to people. I try really hard. Like I want to work with fund to funds people. I'm not really one to guide them on exactly how to do that. I'm trying to funnel them all to you. It's such a team sport. And some people I think don't operate that way. But once you do and you really gravitate towards that, things start opening up in a big way.
that's good. And share with us about your game plan. I know you guys looking to, like you said, acquire 1,000 units, which you're almost there already, but maybe another 1,000 units coming up here. But give us your game plan for perhaps the next 12 months. What are your goals? How many assets you looking to buy? And w- what's your game plan to raise all the money that you need to buy all those properties?
I've noticed this like in certain markets, there's not these motivated sellers that have to sell. But in Austin and San Antonio, I maybe Houston and Dallas, I'm not sure. But in Austin and San Antonio, there's a lot of motivated sellers. Basically, everybody that was active and doing big deals in the last 4 or 5 years, they're all in a bad spot.
Yep.
So there's a really wide open landscape. Maybe become one of or the largest multifamily players in these markets. And so very dialed in. I have three under contract. We just put one under contract last week in Austin called The Social. And we could quickly buy 3,000 doors in the next year.
Mm,
That's the main focus. And through that, like we've got the deals lined up. There's not a lack of what we're also seeing is like brokers are seeing that we're closing and then they're just looking at us as the buyer. So The deals are going to keep coming. The deals are here. They're home runs, immediate cash on cash returns, 7 to 9%, buying them at a discount. Like everyone we're buying, the seller paid a significant higher price than what we're paying. One of the deals that you know about, we're taking over 4.32 fixed debt for 6 years. It's hard to beat that. So the deals are here. The deals are going to keep coming. So my role is to stay ahead of the capital. And we take 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. But we also are, we can raise 5 million, 7 million. We can do that. But when it turns into 30, 40, 50, that's a different ball game for me. And so I'm trying every avenue I can, every conversation I can. It could be one wealthy person. I'm pretty clear on, we've all heard this guy or girl for the last 10 years that said, I'm waiting on the market to dip. That's when I'm buying. And that might be an entrepreneurial business owner. Those guys and girls are out there. So I'm trying to find those people, as many as I can. I'm also talking to groups that are doing background checks on all of us that are like more institutional. And both options are available, right? We'll take whatever we can. At the end of the day, we're scrappy. We know how to find good deals. We know how to negotiate. Getting the capital is the biggest challenge. It's a challenge that can be overcome, but it's trying everything possible. I'm just like there's 85 people here. If I struck a chord with someone or have a good conversation or add value, the solution could be in this room, right? And this is one of 100 rooms I'm going to try to get into in the next 90 days. So it's just outbound until hopefully something comes inbound, and just sharing that story, sharing that vision, and realizing that whether I close these deals right now or not, that is important. But what's more important is that hopefully I'm talking to some of these people 5 years, you as well, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. That's the real value that's created.
And in terms, so you mentioned basically retail investors, $20,000, $50,000 investments to family offices, and obviously all the fund of funds in between as well, and just raising money however you can so that way you can buy all these properties that you guys are finding. So that's really good. And then you mentioned this is a fairly short window of time, right? That you're trying to take advantage of. Do you see that being the case, like specifically to Austin and San Antonio, or do you see that's a case somewhat of the multifamily market in general?
I definitely see it very specifically Austin and San Antonio. I talked to some of these brokers on my class. People give me a phone number. Hey, call this broker in Ohio. Hey, man, I'm looking for these sellers that have to sell. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the guys that that paid a high price 5 years ago. No, we don't have those guys. I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't
Mm,
know, but I know some markets aren't like that with Austin, because Austin and San Antonio, like I said, they were just so competitive and people paid such a high price. But we all probably believe rates are going to come down eventually. And once they do, and other people start competing, like the window in some sense for me will close, because I'll be one of 10 buyers or 20 buyers, and I'll be one of the smaller ones. Unless I can pull this off right now and have the 3,000 doors a year from now, then I can compete for those properties. That's why the opportunity in the window is here. And that's why I'm hustling so hard. And that's why I am like laser focused, because these are life-changing things. Like we closed a $16 million deal 2 months ago. And for me, like now that's a small deal. And I wouldn't have said that a year ago. That's wild for me to say that. But I do think that, and this is just an opinion, I think within 8 to 12 months, this window's gone. I believe that from mostly a feel. There's some, if you really look at the economics, which I don't super detailed, but like rates going down and supply going down, that factors into that. But it's going to turn. And once it turns, or once it gets close to turning, it's going to be too late to get these type of opportunities.
yep, I agree with you. And like I've looked at properties and reading CoStar reports and things like that. In a lot of markets, we've started to see 2024 was a big market where a lot of new construction went online. And so it's a challenging market to fill these units. But now 2025 inventory has been absorbed in a lot of markets. And yeah, so I do see what you're talking about there. It's before we open up for Q&A from the audience here, Matthew, for those that wants to reach out to you, learn from you, partner with you, invest with you, where would you like to send them?
Yeah, I will put a link in the chat. I'll put my number and I'm open. So I partner with people, I sign on loans, like I'm very collaborative. And if I can just bring value to you, I'll do that as well. I'll put our website, my number, my email, and please reach out. Please shoot me a text if I can support you in any which way. I will do my best to do that.
Yeah,
And
so
I just appreciate the space here.
yeah, definitely. And for those of you listening on audio, that's TR3, the number 3 capital.com, TR, the number 3 capital.com. You be able to get access to Matthew's website, and I'm sure all of his contact info is on there as well. And you mentioned about partnering with people on deals and signing on loans. Do those deals have to be in Austin and San Antonio, or can they be anywhere?
No, man, I'm open. I just bought an RV park with somebody in Arkansas. We own retail buildings in Florida. I just I'm at an RV park that I bought in Chapel Hill, Texas. And the owners basically gave it to me and I just took over the debt. I'm
Nice.
at the core, man, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to team up with people and I want to do things where we can grow together.